Good morning, gang. Happy Tuesday morning. Okay, what you'd think would be good news is actually bad news. Yeah, I know. Go figure. We, the American public, are getting played for suckers. And this is just flat out wrong. And when you find out, you should make your voice heard. Okay. We all know how these tariffs are working, right? We're charging China $145 to export stuff to the United States. China's charging us 125% to export stuff to China. Okay. And so the companies all think they're going to be slick and they're just going to pass on those charges to you and me. So, if you shop at Temu or Alibaba or something like that, you've already seen all these stories. I've talked about them where they're slapping the tariff onto the price. So, some summer dress you were going to buy that was going to cost you $18 now costs you $40 because they're adding 125% tariff to it, right? You guys know all this story. Well, it works the other way around, okay? Stuff that we export to China, we're going to try to pass the cost on to them. And so China's answer has been, we're not going to take it. We don't want it. Now, you think about all the junk that we get from China. Walk in any Walmart, good luck finding anything in there that's not made in China, right? But what we send to China, probably our biggest export, is food, okay? We send corn, we send pork, we send soy, apples, almonds, cheese, all sorts of stuff like this. And so we were going to add the tariff cost onto the price of all of this, right? Okay, you want to do it this way? We'll do the same thing as you. It's kind of the whole deal, right? We knew this was coming. It's not a surprise to anybody. Well, China's response has been, fine, then we won't buy from you, which is what our response should be to China, okay? Give you an example. There was a shipment of pork that was supposed to go to China last week that was canceled on Thursday. 12,000 tons of pork from the United States going to China canceled, okay? All right, so you figure, great, if China's not buying all this stuff, 12,000 tons of pork, for example, then laws of supply and demand come into play. If there's a lot more supply, because if we're not selling it to China, they got to sell it somewhere, we should have a lot more supply in the United States. So pork prices should come down. Bacon should come down, right? Corn or soy or almonds or apples, the prices should come down. But they're not. Why? Here's the deal. Well, and I'm certainly not one to want to see farmers hurt, that's for sure. Okay. But farmers have already raised all these pigs. They've already grown all this corn or soy or apples or whatever. And it's a perishable item, so they've got to get rid of it. So now what the packers, the producers, after the farmer, the guys who cutting it into pork chops or making it bacon or whatever, they're passing on the tariffs that China would be paying if they accepted this stuff to us. So the stuff is never even leaving the United States, and you and I, the end consumer, are paying the tariffs on it that they would have to pay it was going to China. They're raising the prices. They're not saying it's the tariffs, but that's exactly what it is. They've got such a glut of product, their idea is, let's keep the prices high. That's market manipulation. And in this case, this is when you start listening to these when the Democrats scream about gouging, okay, yeah, this is it. Gee, we can't sell our $1 a pound product, just making the number up, that would have to cost $2.50 to send it to China. So we'll just charge the American consumer the $2.50 either, so we don't lose any money. No. This needs to be looked into. This is wrong. I mean, you start looking at what is going on. Almonds, China wants to hit them with the 50% tariff. So the price of almonds is going up. You talk about lobsters. Lobsters getting a 35% tariff. So lobster prices are all over the place because, lobster prices are normally all over the place like this. Now they're all over the place like this. Okay. But even things like animal feed, okay? Yeah. The price on that is going up. The aforementioned pork, 72%. We're going to see this, if we're not already seeing it, in the grocery stores. And you know how strapped everybody in the country already is on trying to buy anything, okay, thanks to Bidenflation. And so now, what was supposed to help with these tariffs on some products may come back and bite us in the butt. And the only way that this is going to change is, and it probably will, because again, laws of supply and demand, you can raise prices up to the point where nobody buys it. Great, if pork chops were, $1.99 a pound, and all of a sudden they're $4.50, you may not be buying pork chops. Look what happened to the beef industry. Look what happened to eggs, for example. Eggs were $2 a dozen. They went up to $8 a dozen. People stopped buying eggs. Okay. Is there something nefarious at work here? Are they trying to, the powers that be, okay, are they trying to take the proteins out of our diet? Gee, pork is we already destroyed the beef industry. We're doing our best with the bird flu to destroy the poultry industry. Gee, how do we go after pork? Well, let's see. Because you can't think it's the producers. The producers aren't going, gee, you know what? We got all this pork sitting in a warehouse. How can we not sell it? So who's getting involved? Who's saying, okay, this is how you need to do it? We should be seeing prices come down on American-made goods. Food, okay? We should be seeing prices come down. We've got more. We've got hundreds of thousands of extra tons of corn. Yet they're going to raise the price of corn, primarily animal feed, stuff like that. Well, you raise the price of animal feed, well, now the price of chicken goes up. Now the price of beef goes up. Now the price of pork goes up, whatever you eat. And all of a sudden, you look at this and go, something ain't right here. Why is it that all my protein sources are being made ridiculously expensive, so I can't afford them? Could that be to weaken the American public? Oh my God, we can't see lower prices. If we did, people will buy more meat, and that'll destroy our whole, let's make the people weak so they can't resist our globalism. I know that's a stretch, okay? That's a conspiracy theory, as people like to talk about, that they're trying to kill us all off. Whether it's true or not, we don't know. Difference between conspiracy theory and fact is usually about 6 months. But something to think about. Why are the charges getting passed on to us? Because China won't pay them. That kind of defeats the whole purpose. If China won't take our product, then what we need to start doing is saying, China, we're not taking yours. Take all your toys back. Take all your clothes back. Take Sorry, you know what? Go sell your sundresses in Beijing because you ain't selling them in Poughkeepsie. Pinball out.